There it is. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Fat Joe, Remy Ma, give it up. Back together again.
Yes.
It'd been a while, right? It'd been a few years for the two of you.
Yes.
What brought you back together?
Love.
That's what we want to hear. Especially today, we want to hear about love today.
That's my brother, and with families, you know, they have their disagreements, but when you family, nothing changes family. You're family forever. So he's stuck with me, and I'm stuck with him, and that's it.
So how did it start? I want to hear how the reunion started.
Well, me being the more responsible of the two. I reached out and I called him, and I actually set up a phone call, and so I knew exactly what day and what time I was going to speak to him. So I had a whole week maybe to plan out everything that I wanted to say, and I called him, and he gets on the phone like, "Yeah, what up?" So I'm like, "Hey Joe, what's going on?" Like, "What up? What's going on?" "Oh, nothing. What's going on with you? What's going on with you?" So we did that for about 5 minutes. He goes, "Hey, yo, Ram, stop playing. What you want to say?" I'm like, "I miss you, and I just want my brother." He's like, "I miss you too, sis." And then we just start talking about everything like nothing ever happened.
And that was it.
That's it. And so what was the idea behind this album? Because, you know, you guys are known, the Terror Squad's known as like an East Coast crew and East Coast rappers, but you guys went to Miami to record, you got some LA on this. What made you want to do a sort of around the nation kind of album?
Well, what happened was there's a program they do in the Bronx. It's called BX Fight Clubs, where it says guns down, hands up. So if you have a disagreement with somebody, you go in there and you fight. And so they asked me to come and perform for the kids in the Bronx. So I said, all right. And then I told Remy, me and Remy hadn't performed in maybe like 9, 10 years. And I was like, "Yo, Rem, it'd be crazy if you came out," right? So she
surprised everybody?
We surprised the world. And then the glow in everybody's faces, when we seen it, it was crazy. And Papoose, her husband, was like, "Yo, they love y'all together. This is crazy. So I walked her to the truck. And when I walked into the truck, she lowered the window and she put the thumbs up. So that I already knew. We pretty much know sign language. Like we know each other so much, we just know. So I ran up to the window. I was like, "What you saying? It's on?" She was like, "Yeah, it's on." So then I had to, Lean Back was like #1 forever. And for us to, thank God, and for us, for real.
Tied you over for a little bit, right?
Woo! So for us to get back together and collaborate on a project, it was a lot of pressure because it had to be successful. So I went to work, and I went to Toronto to see what Drake and them was drinking. You know, I went to Atlanta. Yeah, because it's almost like this TV show Vinyl, where the guy had to get high. I don't get high. I had to get high, jump in some party. I had to feel the vibe to know what was going on, because I don't know if you know, when you go to strip clubs, the #1 song is "I Just Sexed Your Girl in My Flip-Flops." That's scary.
I don't know.
No,
I wouldn't know, Joe. I don't
yo,
know nothing
it's
about
scary, bro. So I'm like, yo, how Fat Joe and Remy Ma coming out with real hip hop, and this is the #1 song. So I had to really, really, really do some research. It's almost like a chemist, like Breaking Bad. And then, this album's phenomenal. The album is phenomenal.
The part that he's leaving out, is when he called me at 4 o'clock in the morning for 2 weeks straight telling me about All the Way Up before All the Way Up was even All the Way Up. It didn't even exist yet. All he had was the beat and the idea. He kept calling, not like a normal person that would call at a reasonable hour. For some reason, it was always 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5:12 a.m. And I'm like, "Joe," he's like, "I'm telling you, this is the most amazing song that you've ever heard in your life." I'm like, "But we didn't record it yet." "But I know, I'm telling you." So when we actually did it, and we went to the studio, that was the first song that we recorded for this album. He talked to me, literally, if you guys ever need any type of motivation, call Fat Joe, like he's the best. For 2 hours straight, he would not let me write one word or record anything. He's like, "You have to go bad. I understand that you're a married woman now, but I need you to go. I need you to dig in the depths of." I'm like, "Bruh, give me the microphone." But,
right.
he was right, and it came out amazing.
You got to understand that, people love it. What we do is entertainment, right? So what I am is a father. I'm a family man. Same woman for 20-something years. Take care of my family. I got a son autistic. We raised him. So Fat Joe the Gangster is a fairy tale. It's like my music. I put out aggressive music, but at the end of the day, I'm actually a great guy. So that's what I was trying to let her know. Like, yo, Ram, I know this black love thing is really good, and you with your husband all day, but we need the real Remy Ma to step up and spit on this music. And I'm telling you, the game needs you because these other chicks been playing with it. So I'm like, yo, we got to go bad. We got to go bad, and you got to take the throne again. And you asked me, she the hottest chick on the streets right now.
Absolutely. Give it up.
Thanks, bro.
Remy, easy or difficult for you to tap into that side of yourself?
Oh, very easy. It's like right there. Just like scratch. Oh, go bad? Sure, no problem. It's very, very easy. It's hard to be good. But, I think that a lot of times with creativity, artists, they sometimes try to conform to what's going on. And that's what we didn't want to do. We wanted to, be hot and be relevant and fit in what was going on right now, but not to the point where we're somebody that we're not. I was able to go in there and be Ram, and he was able to go in there and be Fat Joe and still make great music that people liked and that, fits in with everything else. And it's hard. It's actually really hard because everyone else wants to be like everyone else. No one's original anymore.
And that's actually what I loved about the song, or your verses. You're great on it as well, Fat Joe. But that's what I loved about this song, where your verses, they sounded so much like you in 2003. They sounded like women rapping around that time from the East Coast. I thought it was
Well, the best way to describe
throwback.
it is the first person I ever played all the way up to was my brother Nori from Capone Noriega. Noriega, the rapper. He said, yo, man, it feel like Lean Back had babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel like
Take me back to the first show that the two of you played before you decided to do an album together. When you gave him the thumbs up, was that the first show? The first show you had played?
The first show that we did
together, or
together.
you as well alone?
Yeah. Me, no, not by myself, but together, yes. And it was just, the energy was just so crazy. Like I try to tell people all the time, like people really like Fat Joe. People really like Remy Ma, but together they love us together. And you felt that different type of energy. You could actually see it in the room. And I remember that. Like, how sometimes you'll like something and you don't realize how much you liked it until you haven't had it for a while, and then you get like, oh yeah, I used to love this. So, we hadn't performed together in so long. When we did, I was like, yo, I remember this is what it used to be like when we did records like Lean Back and that whole True Story album. So it inspired me and him as well to do this project that we're doing now. And like Joe said, it's great.
album's phenomenal.
Joe, what's the difference between recording a hit song in 2003 and recording a hit song now?
The size
This is
of
what
the
I've
bag.
been trying to explain to you. It is impossible. So what people don't realize is that the reason you don't hear your favorite rapper, who you grew up with, still hot today, is because it's nearly impossible to do. It's like a science project where you got a guy who's 40 years old, 38 years old, always been a Fat Joe fan, and then you got a kid, 12 years old, 14 years old, a Fat Joe and Remy Ma fan. It's almost impossible. So you will break your brain trying to catch it, but we caught it, and we got it, though. This album is phenomenal, and the game got a way of, Remy's much younger than me. Let's put that out there. But the game got a way of ageism to where it's like, what's hot now? We forget our icons. We forget our legends. It's like, what have you done lately?
We don't follow up on our icons and our legends. We just hold on to their original hits, and then we kind of like let them go, unfortunately.
But I think that's mostly, to me, in my opinion, I think that's mostly in the hip hop genre, because you have, rock legends that 20, 30, 40 years now, they're still selling out stadiums.
For whatever reason, people are still seeing you
So it's something that they do. You look at basketball
Even R&B,
players.
Frankie Beverly. Yeah. Frankie Beverly and Maze do 200-something shows a year sold out. But with hip-hop, for some reason, the value somehow, unfortunately, diminishes. So your giants, they don't be so much giants. you know, and then it goes down, and that's sad. And that's pretty much what Fat Joe's out to change. That's what Jay-Z's out to change. That's what 50 Cent is out to change. Busta Rhymes is out to change. Snoop Dogg is out to change. You know, people write our history. We are writing our own history, creating our own destiny right now. So that's what Fat Joe's about. 2016.
It's also bringing a lot of you guys together, right? Like, absolutely. Like, 50 Cent, you used to have like a little bit of beef with, and he's come out, and you guys.
He's my best friend.
He's your best friend.
My best friend. Yo, I opened up a sneaker store in the hood, up NYC, 158th from Broadway. We had a line down the block, 2 blocks actually, with sneakerheads. Kids came out to get their Jordans and their Nikes and what have you. And before I even got to get to the store, they're like, yo. I said, what? They're like, 50 Cent just opened the store. I said, get out of here. He showed up, surprisingly, took pictures with all the fans. Yo, I'm at Fat Joe's store. I mean, it's so crazy because a lot of your enemies, you learn to respect them through the wars and through the battles, and then they could turn around and be your best friends. Like, I used to not see eye to eye with Jay-Z. Me and Jay-Z are text buddies now. We text all day. We keep in touch with each other. It's a weird thing. You learn to respect people you've went up against, you know, and
Well, that competitiveness that you guys had against each other back then isn't really there. And as you said, it's bringing you together, and you're working together to sort of save each other as icons.
we also have an obligation to the youth and to these young boys coming up in the hip hop game to show them that you could go through the most vicious and meanest rap battles, but at the same time could grow up and embrace each other for hip hop, for the culture. And we got to show these young kids that, because too many of these young kids, first of all, the way I look at it is we did everything in our power to come out the ghetto, make our music, let our voice be heard, and rep the culture, but make some money and take care of our families. So what's unfortunate is sometimes we get to the point of where we always dreamed of getting, and then we backtrack, don't appreciate it, and mess it up. So that's what we're trying to show the young boys. Look, this is your dream. You made it here. Hold on to it.
Sounds like
Grab
a
it and
story I
embrace
heard before.
it. Talk.
Sounds familiar.
Who told you this before?
I actually went through it, but I think what happened with me is that I try to explain to people, like, when you have something and you're used to it, you have these big records, you're on tour, you're making a lot of money, it starts to be the norm. It's easy to forget, you know, days when you didn't have everything that you have, but when it's taken away from you, oh, you remember those days very clearly. You know, so like by the grace
I got mad the other day. The other day we went to the Soul Train Awards. Hip hop wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the Soul Train Awards. The Soul Train Awards actually broke barriers for artists for years and years and years. We wouldn't know our Marvin Gaye's and people like that if it wasn't for Soul Train. So I know how prestigious this is. We're going to the award. We're nominated for Song of the Year, and she's too calm. Everybody in the car is too calm. Normally, when you up for an award, you're nervous, you scared, whatever. And I was like, yo, Rem, I don't like this.
Why are you not nervous?
I don't like this. We gotta be nervous. We gotta be nervous. We cannot be acting like we know we're gonna win. We must be nervous.
I wasn't nervous, and then he says that. I'm like, oh my gosh, should I be nervous? Like,
no, we gotta be
yeah, I
nervous.
should
We
be
can't
nervous.
walk
now
in
I'm
there
nervous.
like,
Thanks, Joe.
oh, you won? Yeah, thank you. We knew that was gonna happen.
That is not true.
Like,
I didn't know that.
Man, we better.
He be knowing. I didn't know.
We better wake
I don't.
up.
But like I said, I was, by the grace of God, I was able to get back in a position to where, you know, I could live my dreams, and I appreciate it so much more now. Like every single interview,
Me
every
as well.
performance, everything that I do, I try to take it in.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you were away for a little while. You did have everything taken away from you. Did you?
Right.
A lot of while, excuse me. While you're away, did you think that you would be able to come back to this, that you would have a second chance?
There were more times that I thought I wouldn't be able to than I did. You know, you have those days where you're like, you know what? I'm telling you, I'm going to go home. It's going to be crazy. And then the majority of the time, reality sits in. You look at the statistics, and people who were away for nowhere near as much time as I was, and what happened with their careers, and probably were way bigger artists than me.
Well, I only did 3 months in jail, and I sat back every day, and I had my hands crossed, and I was like, when I get out of here, bro, there ain't a dollar unturned I'm not going for. And I'm going to appreciate everything. And as I was sitting there, I was just conspiring and just plotting on like what moves I was going to make. So now that they're all the way up is big, and you turn around, you see the store open, and then we got ventures with liquors and TV shows, and I'm in Dubai, the next day I'm in Vegas. I'm like, I will not stop. I work like a slave because I realize that everything could be taken away from you, and you have to appreciate it, and you have to go out there and go get it. So we can't take stuff for granted at all. So that's why we work so hard and we're so driven.
Remy?
Everything he said is true. I mean, I wish I was only going 3 months, but I had a lot of time to sit back and make plans. I looked at everything that everyone who'd been in my situation and everything they did, I didn't do. You know, I came home, and the day that I came home, after being away from my family and my loved ones in my home for 6.5 years, I went to the studio, like that very single day. I didn't want to get caught up. Like, you know how kids sometimes they graduate from high school and you be like, oh, I'm going to take a year off, then I'm going to go to college, and it never happens. Like, I didn't want that to happen. I was scared that if I didn't go right then, that something was going to happen to deter me. And from...
What was it like that first night back at the studio?
It was weird because my voice was different. Like, no, I wasn't off beat. I'm never off beat. Is he dumb? What? No. What happened was, like, in case you guys haven't noticed, like, I have this, like, kind of, like, Barry White thing going on, and my voice gets deeper as I get older. So
Your Whitney
like,
voice?
No. Shush, that's secret. Don't tell him that. So what happens is, as I get older, my voice gets deeper. I hadn't recorded a song since, like, 2007. So when I go in and I'm listening, I'm like, who is this dude in my ear? I just sound so different to me. But I was in the studio with DJ Khaled, and, you know, right after Joe, he's the, like, the second, if Joe doesn't answer and you need motivation, call DJ Khaled. So DJ, he's like, oh my God, Rem, you sound phenomenal. It's amazing. Where's my Snapchat? And he's like doing all of this extra. And I'm just like, okay, it must be good then. You know, it was very, very uplifting to get that reassurance. So once I got in there, it was just like nonstop. Like 2 days after that, I was in the studio with Swiss Beats and Jada Kiss and French Montana doing something for his project. So, and I just kept going.
Does DJ Khaled's Instagram and Snapchat success blow you guys away, considering, you know, he kind of started with you?
Well, you know, DJ Khaled, his cousin Fatty's right here. You know, he's my daughter's godfather. He's my little brother. So, like, pretty much everything he learned from me, right? No, I'm serious. I'm very serious. And the problem is he soaked it up like a sponge, and now he does it better than me. So I used to go to radio stations. So you got to go to radio stations, kiss babies and everything. And they be like, wow, you kiss the babies just like DJ Khaled. I'd be like, this guy stole my kissing baby routine? Like, what's going on now? Like, what's happening here? And I personally moved from New York to Miami because I fell in love with Khaled and Cool and Dre. And it was something so magical about Khaled just as a person that, listen, my daughter, my biggest prized possession, something happens to me, I left it to him. That'll let you know how much I love this guy. And I'm just so glad that through the Snap and through the social media, everybody else been able to witness what I witnessed and fall in love with Khaled and love his journey in life. And he's just a special energy, and I knew it from the first day I met him. I was like, this guy is special. He is very special, and I'm glad the world could appreciate what I appreciate from him.
Let's open it up to the audience for questions. Who's got some questions out here? Right here, sir.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Well, first I got a long, drawn-out story, and then I get to the question. But first, it starts off, grew up in Parkchester since I was a little boy up to, like, I was, like, 13 years old. And y'all were, like, a real weird part of my life growing up, like, peripherally. Like, my family owned, like, a record store, and y'all would come out and, do, like, in-stores or whatever, and my family still talked about it and stuff. And then I lived, like, around the corner from Big Pun on, like, St. Lawrence when I was a kid. You'd always hear the motorcycles revving in the background in the middle of the night. You're like, oh, that's Pun and them. And it was super dope. And then, I moved to North Carolina, and then, it was, like, right when the, then Franchise Boys started, like, popping up almost, and then, like, Terror Squad came out, and it was like my own little theme or whatever, bumping in North Carolina in the South, still keeping the Bronx or whatever. Grew up on Jealous One, Still Envy, you know, in 2006, Something About Mary came out. That kept me afloat too in the South or whatever. So other than all that, what I'm getting to.
You love them.
I love
You got
that's
it.
what I'm getting to. So what I want to know, Joe, personally, what is your favorite album that you've done?
Me. I say my favorite album that I've ever done would be Jealous One's Envy, the second album. Why? Because y'all know Jealous One's Envy? Yo, what happened was when I first came out, my first album represents. Shout out to DITC. We just dropped the album last week. If y'all want that real hip hop, go get it. Now, my first album, I just felt like I was the toughest dude in the world. I really had that street credibility. I really was in them streets. So I was telling that story, repping the Bronx, whatever. But I'm honestly telling you I wasn't the best rapper in the world at that time. So then, like, Flojo went #1 in the country, but it was going bust it, check it, watch how I wreck it. Brothers, I was kind of whack, right? And then the album comes out, Illmatic, and there's a little guy from Queens named Nas going, realizing the realism of life and actuality, if it was the baddest of person's status. And I was like, oh my God, it's over for me. My career is over. Like, I'm destroyed. I will never make a record again. And through studying him and Coogee Rap and all these other artists, I stepped my game up lyrically so much on my second album that will always be my favorite album, because that was like, I'll tell you a quick story, right? I know Biggie Smalls, rest in peace, before he was Biggie Smalls, right? So I actually gave Notorious B.I.G. his first show. I was a promoter in the Bronx at the Fever. I hired him to do his first show ever. I paid him $1,000 in a bottle of Moet, right? And I used to go to Brooklyn all the time to visit Biggie. We used to talk to each other every day. So this is a big lesson for y'all to learn, because I never said this story before. But you know how people say people change? It be your perception of the people that change. No, normally it don't be the people. So I dropped this second album that I'm telling you I think is the greatest thing I ever did. But I hadn't seen Biggie since he became successful. Biggie Smalls was #1, #2, and #3 on Billboard. He was that big. So he went from being in Brooklyn in an apartment. I used to open the door and have a doorknob. Didn't have a doorknob, right? To wearing these furs, $100,000 furs at the. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. He's a superhero, right? So I dropped the album, the second album, and maybe like 3 days later, I was going to a party that Vibe magazine had. And when I pulled up, it was like 100 people around the truck. And when I looked, I said, can I curse or no? I said, oh shit, it's Biggie, right? And Biggie was there with Lil' Kim. And the whole people, this was like crazy. He was there, he had the fur coat on and this and that. So I was almost intimidated and scared to walk up to Biggie, because I was scared for him to hurt my feelings and be like acting like he's some big, you know. So that's why I'm telling you, don't judge it like that. So when I seen Biggie, he jumps past the crowd. Yo, Crack, this album is crazy. I've been playing this album 100 times. Tell him, Kim. And, you know, she was cocky at the time. She was like, yeah, Joe, we've been bumping the album. He was like, this album is crazy, bro. You step your joint up. This shit crazy. And I was like, wow, he ain't changed one bit. But at the same time, getting the co-sign from Biggie was like, forget about it.
Absolutely. Wow. Next question.
Hi, guys. I'm like
Hi.
so hyped right now. Okay, so my question is, you guys seem very humble. So I was just wondering, how have you guys given back to your fans, and as well as where you guys specifically come from?
Well, I think we're probably like not just humble, but we're probably like the most normal artists like ever. Like literally, I'm gonna give you a quick story. We went to the Soul Train Awards the other day. It's front row, sitting there, amazing show. We're nominated for 2. I don't want to, give it away if we won or not, but it was a good night. And
I also think he
left.
gave it away earlier.
And we left, and we're driving around. We're in Vegas, and we're trying to find somewhere to eat. Oh, I'm telling him. We were trying to find somewhere to eat, but everything, all the nice places that we were trying to find was closed. So long story short, we ended up with this huge case of White Castle hamburgers, like a giant bag of fries and onion rings. We had milkshakes. It was disgusting. But he went out and got it himself, like in the store. Like
In the
he went out.
biggest suite at the
Right.
nicest hotel,
Like-
we had White Castle burgers. I actually forced the security to. I said, I can't walk in this hotel with this bag.
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
He
Matt.
just go
White-
through a whole nother entrance. I'm like, why? Because it's huge. It's this huge hotel. He goes, I'm not walking through this hotel with a case of White Castle burgers. I'm like,
All right, to answer your
Whatever.
question, Remy Ma is an inspiration to millions of Black and Latino kids in the world. They always say we can't be nothing. They say we can't be successful. She had a problem. She went away for 6 years. Most men are not loyal to their women. They don't stand by their women. Her husband went to visit her every single visit and got married with her while she was in jail and while she came out. That does not happen. So now, for the young Black and Latino children, it is living proof in front of a camera that you can stand by your woman and you can love your woman and be loyal to your woman. That's number one. Number two is she came out of prison, and most people told her every day that she wouldn't survive, she wouldn't be nothing. Now she has a #1 TV show, and she has a #1 record in America, and she's a businesswoman that owns her own business. This alone is inspirational to young and Black and Latino kids. Unheard of. Second of all, I just opened a store.
She does the accounting.
Hold up. No, it's all right.
let me tell him that part.
I just
He
no.
opened his
I
store.
just opened a store.
The store is amazing. First of all, people are out here, people's children out here killing people for sneakers. They're standing on these lines paying this money that they really can't afford. He made it so that kids and the youth can come in their neighborhood and get things that everyone else has at a reasonable price. It's not marked up crazy high just because it's the hottest thing that's out. And when I tell you this guy single-handedly, any type of event, yo, we need you to come talk to the kids. You see he talks a lot. He doesn't even let me. He goes and we talk to the youth. We go to a different type of group homes.
We
prisons,
bought
all of this.
computers for schools.
Like so much stuff.
There's kids that are incarcerated that never seen their parents. I bought a bus for them. It's called an Arms Reach, so they could go see their mother and fathers. We have given to AIDS charities. We have given to cancer charities. We have given to Haiti destruction. You can't even begin to believe what we have done.
I think we
I
have.
think that's your fifth answer.
I think we have time for one more right here.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm from the Bronx, and it's an honor to have you both here. Oh my God.
Thank you.
But my question was, beef nowadays is different from how beef was back then. And there has been debates about now like rap beefs inspiring like hotter tracks or making rappers more inspired to go harder. So I wanted to get both of you guys' take on it.
You first?
We might have different takes. Gad, you go first.
Well, I mean, it depends what end of the rap beef you're on, because seriously,
So we might have the same take.
it could possibly, if you make a dope diss record and it's hot, it could make you hotter than you was. It also could possibly ruin everything that you had going on. Like, I wouldn't recommend beef for anybody, because I think it's just more value and it's more lucrative to be at peace with people. When you have beef with people, and sometimes it's not necessarily the artist, it be the whole entire crew that's around them that have nothing to do with anything that causes it, and sometimes it could get taken to a level that's unsafe and that's not healthy. You know, back in, I don't know, the days from what I hear about, that they used to have rap beefs and it was like cool, like, you know, like what was the ones from the Bronx that had it with the Queens?
Cool. Oh, well, KRS-One.
Right, and the Queens, like they like this was like a
The
on.
bridge is over. Put it up.
See, this is why I don't like talking about back in the day stuff, because he just goes off crazy. But what happens is, like, it was healthy then. You know, it was like people were sitting by the radios waiting to see who was going to put out the next diss record and where it was going to go. You didn't have to worry about, like, yo, his crew might run into his crew and someone's going to end up dead. So, you know, as long as it's being kept healthy, where it's just music, it's cool. But what happens with social media, in my opinion, social media hypes everything up. It makes people feel like they have to be tough. They have to live out their lyrics. They have to act these things out. And a lot of times it gets taken to a place where it can't come back from. So I personally think it just makes more sense and literally more dollars to not beef with anybody, especially not because you're not going to win a rap beef with me. I mean, I'm just saying. Don't do it now. Sorry. Joe?
I agree. And what I can say is it's different times. Everything's different now, you know, and there's a lot of violence in the streets. And I love my young brothers, and I don't want to see them die or throw their life away. Or, you know, I know Troy Ave, and I know him to be a beautiful guy. And I don't know what that situation is that he got in trouble, but I actually know him as a beautiful person. And unfortunate, this is what could occur out of that. So, you know, I recommend that everybody, it's a different time. It's not healthy for rap beef right now.
Do you think rap beef is also a bit more of a young MC's game, like a much younger MC's game?
Well, I know. Every time I preach, they start thinking I'm old or something. They be like, yo, when you was younger, you was beefing with everybody, son. We need our chance. Yo. But the truth is, it's a different time. I don't think it has a place in the hybrid hip hop system. I don't believe 2016 it should go down like that, because it's not good.
I think what happens is that people forget, and this is artists, they forget that this is a business. You know, at the end of everything, it was at one time it may have been something that you did for fun, you banging on the tables in your lunchroom and you putting on mixtape. Once you get to a certain level, this is a business. This is how you make your money. This is how you raise your family. And people expect you to act a certain way, especially if you're signed to a label. Like, they don't want somebody that's out here catching cases and you're going to jail and you get into problems because now you're messing with their money. So, like, once you start thinking of yourself as a business and as your job as a business and not play, it changes.
I could tell you a story, right? I personally, I'm a sneaker collector. Like I said, I own the store. I was going to be the first and only rapper to ever have a collaboration with Team Jordan. I was going to be a member of Team Jordan, have my own Jordan sneaker, Fat Joe sneaker. I met with Michael Jordan maybe 6, 7, 8 times face to face. We were about to do it. The minute me and 50 Cent beef blew up and it was in the MTV Awards, they was like, Joe, we love you, but we not into this rap beef. We're not into that. We want positive, this and that. I might have lost millions and quadrillions of dollars from having that sneaker deal because somebody was like, you know what, we not with that. You know, so it's not really good for business. I don't know. Anybody who said a myth that rap beef is good for business, it's a lie.
Yeah, you're going to lose quadrillions of dollars.
Again, you're the accountant here, right? I'm imagining.
Nah, my brother's actually really super duper smart. Don't let you know he makes up words because I think it gives them more emphasis. I use them sometimes when he's not around. I wouldn't do it in his face.
I'm gonna use
but
trillions.
It makes you think of a really big number, right? It sounds huge, right? He does that a lot. He makes up words and you be like, that's not a word, but it fits so perfect.
I want to shout out my little brother. He is from Dubai for the first time. Rashid, he's in the building. Love this guy.
Guys, I gotta let you go. All the Way Up is on shelves now. It's on iTunes. People can get it. People can hear it.
What,
the whole album.
The new album would be, the pre-order should be up
December 9th.
December 9th, and the album will be coming out first week in January. The new single called Money Showers featuring Ty Dolla $igns will be out this week, actually. We're dropping it on Wednesday, so listen to your radio station or whatever you want, iTunes.
I mean, but you
Tidal,
can always
Spotify.
feel free to get any record that we've ever done ever in life. It all goes to the same bank account. You can get All the Way Up. You can get Cooking. He was talking about Jealous One's Envy. You guys should check that out. There's something about Remy. Get it all.
I have one question to ask. What is this zipper for, Rem? I've been trying to figure this out.
Swag.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Hold up.
We are not done.
Hold up. I can't leave without saying God is great. And no matter what you're going through in life, whether you're going through a divorce, whether you're going through health, whether you're going to financial problems or whatever, look to God. He'll always pull you through.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you.